So recently, the First Lady made some interesting comments around a popular food that Nigerians eat known as Akara. And she positioned it as a business idea or a business opportunity for Nigerians, where we have some unemployment issues at the moment in the country. Again, this is not a political channel. We don't talk about things like that here. But I'm just giving you some context as to where this video came about or why this video is on the internet today, right? In this particular video, we're actually going to build a Nigerian food brand, following some of the comments that she made, and I'm going to show you how to position this particular food brand to generate millions and billions. Now, for those of us that are not Nigerian or don't understand what I mean when I say Akara, Akara is also known, or the English name for Akara is bean cake, right? So that's the English name for Akara, and it's a popular breakfast Nigerian staple food. What I mean by that is we eat it with bread in the mornings, things like that. As time went on, well, not as time went on, some people eat Akara with gari for lunch or dinner. Again, it's dependent on what people do. And there's also Akara and pap. I'm not sure how to explain pap to a non-Nigerian audience, but I would say it's pap millet. I think pap is millet. Now, when you go into the Google Trends data, you will notice that in June, there was a huge spike around the conversation Akara, or the search term Akara. And like I said at the beginning of this video, the reason why that search term actually spiked during that period was because of the conversations or the comments from the First Lady of Nigeria. Okay, so we understand that there's a demand for this. Another thing is food. Everybody needs to eat. You need to eat to survive. So there's that. Now, why are we looking at Akara? Why are we building our Nigerian food brand around Akara? Same thing I said in the beginning. It is a popular Nigerian staple food, mostly known for breakfast, right? You will either have a traditional woman at the top of your street selling Akara, or at the estate gate or something like that, right? They normally sell Akara and yam chips, or they sell Akara and pap, or Akara and bread, that sort of thing, right? I don't think I've ever seen somebody sell Akara and gari in the same bowl or in the same Congo. I mean, how do you call it? That sort of thing. But that's pretty much why Akara. Another thing is, platforms like Glovo, Chowdeck, things like that, Nigerians have started to now buy food online. Now, when it comes to products, because again, you are building a Nigerian food brand, you typically have two options. The first option is extremely easy to set up. You can start from your own kitchen. Okay, you can start from your own kitchen. If I'm speaking to somebody that is a stay-at-home mom, things like that, right? I don't like the term housewife, so let's call you stay-at-home mom or working from home mom, that kind of thing. Another thing is you have cloud kitchens, for example. A cloud kitchen is pretty much you renting a space and then turning that space into a kitchen, right? That sort of thing. People can't come and sit down there and eat. That if they come there and sit down and eat, it makes it a restaurant. But a cloud kitchen is just a kitchen. So you rent a space, put all your kitchen utensils or equipment there, and then you start cooking and then delivering. So you work with platforms like Chowdeck, Glovo, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Number two, to scale this business, you most likely have to scale locations. Personally, I don't like those kind of businesses because they are too people-centric, right? And I've been burnt too many times. Humans, not Nigerians. Again, you see, I don't mention Nigerians. Human beings have shown me shaky. But again, this is a personal opinion and it can change, just so you know. I can wake up tomorrow, someone will dash me 100 million naira and I will do this business. So don't say, because Damini does not like it, I will not like it. Go and find your own strengths, understand yourself, do your own self-awareness checks, understand what you like and you don't like. Me personally, I don't like this type of businesses for now. Option two is a bit harder to set up. And the reason is because you have to have the product. So it's a physical product, it's a powdered mix. So you have to have maybe NAFDAC registration, you have to have, a relationship with the Standard Organization of Nigeria, stuff like that. And for this to happen, these people have to come and visit where you are making the products and all those amazing things, okay? So it's harder to get started. More investment is required, but it's not easy for other people to come and join you. Now, what product will you pick? So if you are picking between product one or product two, it's genuinely up to you. So this is what I've come up with. So I've called my brand Akara Express. Okay, the reason I've called it Akara Express is because number one, it was the sharpest domain I could find that was available. So as of today, when this video goes live, or whenever this video goes live, this domain is still accessible and can be bought. It's $16 per year, that sort of thing, right? But anyways, Akara Express. So it's a breakfast brand created to make traditional Nigerian meals faster, easier, and more convenient without compromising on quality or taste. Now, that amazing lady that you can see, that's the brand's mascot. That's Akara. That's Mama AK. Now, the reason why I'm using Mama AK, I think I mentioned it in a different slide. But the reason why I'm using Mama AK is because, again, I'm not trying to sound sexist, but Nigerians, especially we as a collective, we know that this kind of Mama AK, her Akara will bang. We know. Let's call it spade a spade. Don't say Damini is sexist. Why didn't you make it Brother Akin? We know that just looking at Mama AK, this woman's Akara will be sweeter than Brother Akin's Akara, right? And that's the thought process there. You need to understand like the cultural understanding of people that are buying your product. So that's how it all ties together. You don't have to have a brand mascot if you don't want a brand mascot. It's up to you. The only reason why I have a brand mascot is because I personally, as the founder or the owner of this brand, I can't push it or promote it the same way that I know having a brand mascot on my Mama pushing it would the same effect or the same, outcome that she will bring to the table. I know that I can't push it. The example of a brand that does this very well is Duolingo. So Duolingo is a platform where they teach you how to learn different languages. What I've done here is, this is the example of what my own Akara mix would look like. Now, one thing I told you earlier, if you remember, is Akara typically goes well with what? Pap, bread, gari, chips, that sort of thing. Yam chips, to be precise, that sort of thing. So what we've done is our initial product, our focus product, our hero product is the Akara mix, but we are pairing it with the pap mix. I'm not saying when you are doing your own, start with the two. I'm not saying that. If you have the money, the bandwidth, the team, and the time for it, by all means, be my guest, start with the two. I just put that there as an example, right? So personally, for this video, we are focusing on just the Akara mix. Please, so you can start with the two if you want to, but for this video we're just going to focus on the Akara mix. And then our target price is 3,000 naira per pack. The reason why I'm selling it for 3k is because I am selling it directly to the customer or the consumer, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. We will create an irresistible offer in this same video. I'll show you what that looks like. The next phase we are going to in this video is for pure market research, so that you understand how to position your product and how to market your product. Okay, now you must understand people that are eating Akara, what else are they eating? So they are eating cornflakes, they are eating quicker oats, they are eating bread and butter. That's who you are competing with, or what you are competing with, right? I want you to understand that. The reason why I want you to understand that is, how do these people communicate to your target customers? Because most likely you speak to the same customers. Understand how they communicate, understand what they do well and what they don't do well, and that's your leverage. That's that's something you can put in your back pocket to say that, okay, when it comes to marketing, I can quickly start working on this, that sort of thing. So work hard and work smart. Don't just work hard. Moving on, we don't want to look at Nigeria's demographic breakdown. I'm showing you a report now that shows how this particular group is broken down. Now, because of how Akara is, because of the kind of content in Akara and the way it tastes, I have neglected or left, neglected is such a strong word, I have left out 0 to 4 years old. So kids within the ages of 0 to 4 cannot consume this product. Okay, that's what we're doing with this particular data point. Now that TAM stands for total addressable market. Total addressable market are which group of people can consume my product. Again, keyword here is consume, not buy. We're first trying to identify who can consume the product. Okay, that sort of thing. So your TAM is 85.6%. 85.6% of 230 million people is 197 million people. Okay, now like I said, because somebody can consume your product, that does not mean they can afford it or buy it. Make sure you understand that. So with that, you now want to remove everybody under the ages of 18. The reason why I'm telling you to remove, and to be fair, I personally think it should be more aggressive, but we're just going to work from 18. The reason why I want to move everybody under 18 is because ideally, people under 18 can't get a job. Even if it's a menial job or a small job, something like that, people under 18 can't get that. So I've removed those people. But ideally, because of how I spoke about unemployment earlier in this video. Because of the unemployment issues in the country right now, I should genuinely actually increase this number to like 25. So it should be 25 to 65 plus. But no, we're going to leave it at 18. Okay? I'm going to leave it at 18 because of what you're selling. You're selling Akara. Don't forget, everybody can eat Akara. So if you look at 18 to 65 plus, that 85.6 goes down to 52.6%. And your term of that, so 52.6% of 230 million people is about 121 million people, which is still a lot of people. Next up, let's look at how much Nigerians earn, especially across Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, boomers, things like that. You can see no income, highest is obviously Gen Z. A lot of them will probably be in school or university, things like that. Hence why they are the highest at that particular level. The main focus for this product that I'm selling, right, this my instant Akara mix, is going to focus squarely on Gen Z and millennials. Because I want to sell primarily online, I want to do something called DTC, which is direct to consumer. I don't believe that boomers, so boomers are those like 62 to 80, they'll be buying Akara from the internet. It doesn't make any sense to them, right? Next up, how much do people spend? Now, this is a bit shocking, but 83% of Nigerians spend less than 200,000 naira per month, okay? And 72% of Nigerians spend their money on food. Like every month, that's what they spend their money on food. So you can see this shows that what we are working on, this Akara mix that we're working on, is in a very good position, in a very good spot, especially when we market it properly and position it properly for this Gen Z and millennial group of people. Okay, so this is how I want you to also think about if you decide to do something like this for your own business, or you already have a business like this. Okay, that sort of thing. Now let's create an irresistible offer. So what I've done here is pack of 6 at 18,000 naira. Remember, I told you your target price is 3,000, but I'm not selling one at 3,000. There's something called the average order value. Okay, so the average order value for this to make sense for me as a businessman has to be high. Well, not high, but it has to be more than 3K. 3K doesn't make any sense. Like if, let's say, 100 people buy something worth 3K, that's 300,000 naira. If 100 people buy something worth 18K, that's 1.8 million, right? You see the difference. So as much as possible, we want to push people to a higher AOV, okay? That sort of thing. So here, you have your pack of 6 for 18,000 naira. What you've also done is you've given them a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. Obviously, you put some small terms and conditions there where, if we sent you a pack of 6 and you've opened 2, no refund for you. You can open 1, fine, no problem. But send us our 5 back. That sort of thing, right? And at this position, you want to make sure you have a fantastic product. You can't have a shitty product. Okay? Just so you know. Another thing now is I have another card. I have another product card that shows you the difference as to Akara. This our instant Akara mix versus cornflakes versus oats versus any other form of cereal. This is why it's better for you, that sort of thing, right? And then obviously we now want to have maybe things like next day delivery or things like pickup available, or things like that. And then to crown everything, which I always say this, which is the most important, fantastic customer service. Customer service, customer experience must be top, right? Top. So this is Oja Digital. It's a tool I like to use. Let's come here. So let's say in a year you want to make 100 million naira, right? Now I'm using 100 million naira because according to the new tax breakdown, 100 million naira and below, you are seen as a small business. In the earlier years, it was 25 million or 24.9 million. That's why I'm using 100 million. And again, I don't know about you, but if you're earning like maybe 5, 10 million, 20 million, 50 million a year, you're actually very rich in Nigeria, just so you know. Not a lot of people do that. But yes, let's say 100 million naira. Okay? Your average order value is what? What's your average order value? We've spoken about it. Your average order value is 18,000 naira. Okay? 18,000 naira. And let's say your conversion rate is, again, let's just say 1%. Your conversion rate is, if 100 people visit your product page or visit your social media, how many of them will send you a message on WhatsApp? How many of them will send you a DM? How many of them will visit your website and buy your product? That's your conversion rate, okay? So if 100 people go there, 1% would be one person buys. Now, it sounds like a lot, but let's look at this. For you to make 100 million naira in a year, you just have to sell 5,556 products. If you divide this by 12, this is what you get. So in a month, you need to sell 463 units. Let's do monthly. Let's just do monthly here. Let me change this to, let's say you want to make 1 million naira a month. You want to make 1 million naira a month, that means you sell 14 units a week. You sell 14 units a week at 18,000 naira. So 14 people buy this your Akara mix at 18,000 naira. You make 1 million naira in a month. That's it. That's how you want to look at it. I have another video that shows you the full roadmap of how this thing works. But that's pretty much it, right? Now, social media, you want to focus on TikTok and Instagram. The reason why I'm telling you to focus on TikTok and Instagram is because, like I said earlier, we are focusing on Gen Z and millennials. You get me? Look at me doing 6-7. But you're focusing on Gen Z and millennials. And you want to have an e-store. Like an e-store, you can build on Bumper, you can build on Shopify. It's up to you. But you build that e-store and then you send people to go and patronize your business there. Or you send people to your WhatsApp and then you close the deal on WhatsApp. That sort of thing. Remember, 14 units a week, 14 sales a week at 18,000 naira equals 1 million naira a month in revenue. Now, things to consider. Obviously, product research and development. Now, some of you have gotten to this stage of the video and you have been thinking to yourself that, how do I make this Akara mix? Or where do I find somebody that makes this Akara mix? Or is it even possible to make this Akara mix? See, the internet is such a wonderful place. If you take your time to search for things, you will find it. This is the simple thing I just put in Google. How to make Akara mix powder and preserve it. Okay? I've come here. I've seen this person's video, right? I've seen this person's video that is talking, this Rem foodie. I've seen this one on TikTok as well. This is another one on TikTok. Meals with Tabby. You know, this person posted last year. This other person posted, I think, I don't know when this person posted. I can't see, 4 months ago. So you can see that the internet has information. You just have to go and look for it. Okay? So there's that. Then you have NAFDAC, Standard Organization of Nigeria registrations, and there's probably a whole lot more that I don't know. Again, I'm not in this business. So I'm just in the business of showing you the opportunity and showing you how to present that opportunity to your customers. Go and do more research, understand how these things work, understand what's required from a product perspective, especially because this is something that people eat. So you have to be careful. Okay? There's that. Then obviously packaging and branding, Akara-Express, the domain is free. The social media platforms or the social media handles are not. The person that's someone has already taken Akara-Express. But what you can do is you can do Akara-Express by Duni, Akara-Express by Damini, Akara-Express by Ikena, something like that. It's up to you. Or Mama Eke, Jesus, I say Mama Eke. Mama Eke dot or underscore Akara-Express. So you've added your brand mascot and then your brand's name into one. Is up to you. You know, whatever it is up to you. That sort of thing. Then obviously profitability. I just picked 3K. I feel like 3K is a very affordable number for every Nigerian, and I feel like I will make enough margins if I work the product properly. I should be able to make enough margins to sustain myself, sustain the business, sustain the people that work for the business, things like that. Okay. I have a video that shows where you can get I wouldn't say free money, but you can get loans, bank loans, grants, things like that. I have a video. You can go and watch that next. I'll put some videos in the description that might help you, that sort of thing. So it depends on how you want to do your business registration. You can go the business name route. You can go the LLC route. I've spoken on this particular channel which one I prefer and why I prefer it, but there's nothing stopping you from going at that business name or LLC. It's just it just depends on what your plans. It depends on your plans and your scale, that sort of thing. Next up is export requirements. Now, this is also very important because you might want to start this whole business that we've spoken about and just focus on exports. You don't even focus on selling to Nigerians. You focus on people in America, focus it on the Nigerians in the diaspora, or anybody in the diaspora, or even like Oyibo as well. Oyibo said good chop and what's it called, Akara as well, right? So you focus on these kind of things and you're good to go. We're building a community on this channel. It's called the EBS Circle. So if you want to join, go to Oja Digital. The EBS Circle is here. Join. If you want any of my other downloadable free resources, come to Oja Digital. Come here. Downloadable resources. If you want to use some of the free tools that help e-commerce businesses scale profitably, you can come here as well to the free tools. Again, Oja Digital, we make e-commerce easier. Now, what they do? So you can just check and see what fits you. But yes, if you want to join the EBS Circle, the EBS Circle at the moment, the way we're going to have our first session, and then the whole point is there's certain things I can't say here that I will be able to now, go in depth or, explain a bit further, that sort of thing in a more private situation. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So yes, inspiration stores and examples. So these are other people's brands that they either sell cereal. So I've looked at cereal. I've looked at Perfect Ted. So Perfect Ted sells matcha, right? Matcha is you know what? Let me just keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, so Sorrel is a cereal brand. I think they're based in the UK. Magic Spoon is based in the US, and then Perfect Ted is based in the UK as well. So you can take a look at these people's website, take a look at their social media pages, take a look at the way they position their product, because these brands are first DTC. A lot of them have entered into retail or entered into like the ShopRites for lack of you guys don't have Tesco, so they entered into the ShopRites of Nigeria, things like that, right? But they started with DTC. They started to sell directly to the consumer, that sort of thing. And their main USP stands for unique selling point. Their main selling point, or the way they differentiated themselves from everybody else, was that they were healthy options versus what was in the market. So see how they've positioned themselves, see how they did it, and then you can do the same for your brand or for your business. Now, if you want to watch other videos on this particular channel that would help you make decisions, I have one video that talks about how you can start a Nigerian drink brand. So this is a food brand. A Nigerian drink brand is a bit different because the price point for a Nigerian drink brand is not as high as 3,000 or 18,000 naira. So you can go and watch that video next and see how that's positioned differently. If you want to learn any other thing about my own business, how I've seen Shege, my business failures, I have another video that talks about that. I'm very open and transparent about that, why I am so knowledgeable and where I am today as well, that sort of thing. Yeah, if you want anything else in terms of videos that can help you for your next steps, check the description. I've spoken to you about Oja Digital as well. Go and check it out. Join the EBS Circle if you're interested, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Lastly, before I go, normally I just end the video here. Lastly, before I go, please, I beg of you, don't be myopic, don't be small-minded, don't be negative, right? If you continue to ooze and project negativity, the universe, whether you believe in God or not, will return negativity back to you. That's just how it works. All right? Stay safe, stay easy. God bless.